Welcome back everybody to another video with John Does Stocks. Today we will be recapping this whole week from Wednesday to Friday of me trading, and if there's anything I can say, this really was a crazy week. So let's just get straight into it. So starting off on Wednesday, we were on the micro NASDAQ charts, and looking at it from a 1 hour view, we can see that it is very bearish. This week I was morely focused on just taking successful trades rather than making a lot of money. While marking up this chart, I didn't really see anything in terms of trends, but I only could really see a resistance at the top. As time went by, I did realize that there was a fair value gap that I could possibly profit off of. Right here, I see the market push down and I end up buying in to try and profit off of the pullback. What basically happens is that it pushes down a little bit more and then eventually pushes back up with my pullback. So I do end up profiting about $20 off of this trade, but I'm trying to avoid taking these trades because more times than not, I'm not going to win this trade and I'm going to end up just losing more money from it. Seeing that the market did end up pushing down, it's honestly a blessing that I got out of the trade, because if I did stay in it, I would have lost. And this is exactly why I need to stop trading pullbacks off of intuition, because if I keep on doing this, I'm going to end up losing more money than I have to. Right here you can see that I found a fair value gap that hopefully I can use. As time went on, the market just kept on pushing down and down and down, which I get kind of greedy here and I try to take a pullback trade. However, this long position really didn't work out for me and I ended up just losing a good load of money. The next 15 seconds are sped up, but you can see how fast I really am losing this money. It literally goes from me losing about 20 to 30 to me losing 40, then 80, then 100, and then it just eventually leads to me losing 150 about. And I really was just praying for it to shoot back up, but this long position never worked for me because this graph just kept on pushing bearish, and as many would say, just the bears just kept winning. I do get a little push up right here, but it's short lived as the graph just continues to shoot down, as you can see, losing 120, losing 130. I end up just bailing out with a loss of 140 USD, and because the loss was so steep, I decided to just push all of this, responsibility on future me. On Thursday, I decided that I'm gonna try trading minis to work myself back up, and my goal today is just to take one trade a day and just try my best to not get greedy and to trade off of what I'm seeing in front of me and not intuition. So basically, looking at the market from 1 hour to 15 minutes, it looks like it's consolidating, but at the same time, it does look like it's on a downtrend. So I'm looking for short positions here. Zooming in on the 3 minute market, I can see that there is a uptrend going on right now, and I decided to make my trend lines hoping for a short position. Right here I see the short position playing out, so I decided that I'm going to get ready to sell so I can entry for a short position. Instead of instantly getting into the sell position, I decided that I didn't really want to be hasty with this, because if this did end up rejecting and going up, I would be losing tremendously. So what I did was adjust my trend lines to ensure for calculated and precise trades. Luckily, I did be cautious because right here we can see a break of structure push up, and that's when I entry for a long position. Although I thought that the market would keep pushing up, it actually doesn't and reverses, and it looks like I fell for a liquidity sweep. So this break of structure was all just a liquidity sweep, and I end up just having to bail out for a loss of 270. But even after this loss, I decided that I'm not gonna just end on a loss. So I keep waiting for the market to break structure so I can actually get in for a pretty good position. Right here you can actually see the market break downwards. so I do enter in for a short position. I'm really nervous going into this trade because I really don't want to lose any more money because I'm already down about 200. But as you can see, the market just keeps on pushing down, and I'm up 100 right now. I am nervous, so I do end up just buying myself out right when it hits about 580. But unfortunately, because of the delay, I do only make about 480, which is still a lot considering I just lost 200. I do press the X on this buy stop, but it doesn't end up going away. It just ends up fading in the background. So when the market did end up hitting that again, it bought me in, and I eventually just lost my eval account. So Friday's here, and we're on a total separate account, and now I'm back at 25,000 flat. So it's like a clean platter. I can make bad trades, I can make good trades, and whether I do any of those, it won't matter because I do have 1,500 to play with. Going into this day, my mental wasn't the best because I had to buy a new eval account. However, my mental wasn't the worst because I just made a play on about $400. As a beginner, it's very important that I have a good mental because if it's not, I'll end up making erratic plays, and those can really cost me everything, to be honest, you know. Anyways, here you can see that the market is pushing up, and I'm waiting for it to pass this resistance because once it does, we will enter in a long position. Right here, I'm prepared to enter in for a long position because as you can see, the market did end up passing the trend line and the resistance are above it. Here, I'm already up 115, and I'm just getting ready to bail myself out because I don't want it to end up pushing back down on a liquidity sweep. As the market kept moving, I was getting a bit nervous, but right when I saw it hit 300 and then fluctuate between 300 and 100, I eventually just decided to bail myself out for a win of $200. Right here, I do spot a fair value gap that I could possibly use in the future. I see that the market just keeps on pushing up, but that candle does look a little weak. So if it does push back down and hits this fair value gap, I do plan on buying in for a long position. As you can see, the graph really does start pushing down towards that fair value gap that I highlighted earlier. And as you can see, it just stopped right about in the middle of the fair value gap or at the end of the fair value gap. And what I'm hoping for is that it bounces up a little bit, and then I will be entering in for a long position just to get that bounce off and maybe 2 or 300 profit. For the next 2 minutes, it does just start consolidating right above that fair value gap. So honestly, I'm ready to just go in for a long position, all or nothing it right now. However, what happens? 4 a.m. hits, and Powell, I think his name is, starts talking. That's when everything goes downhill. I end up buying in because I get worried, and as you can see, I do end up losing $400 because I got scared. And honestly, that's no one's fault but mine. I should have checked to see if there's any big news today. But shortly after taking this trade and losing money, I did get a text from my mom telling me that I shouldn't be trading right now because Powell is talking. And yeah, so that's kind of where I ended off my journey right there and decided to just call it a night, call it a week. It wasn't a bad week, it was a pretty good week. Well, yeah, that's it for the week. I'm down 170 overall. My biggest win yet was 220, and my biggest loss hit about 390. Still, though, I'm keeping high hopes for this evaluation account and looking for a better week ahead. Stay tuned for part 3, and don't forget to like and subscribe.